All right, Wyatt Turnquist, what's up, man? We're live. How's it going?
Not bad, not bad. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Glad we've been talking about it for a little bit, and now unfortunate time that we were able to get together, but we still, take advantage of it nonetheless, I guess, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about like why, I guess, why we're able to get going. Just kind of one of the new realities of college athletics right now.
Yeah, I guess obviously with everything going on in the world, you never know when you're gonna get put in quarantine or when you're gonna have to isolate. So unfortunately, a couple of us in Northern State got exposed to COVID, so we're out for a couple days and just kind of doing the best I can in the quarantine situation right now.
Yeah, no doubt. So where's your mindset have to go, or where do you go kind of mentally when you hear about this? And was it something that you had thought of beforehand, like, this is a real possibility? You look at, Penn State hasn't wrestled a match yet this year, and there's other teams that have had events canceled and kids out. So is it something that was on your mind of like, okay, if this does happen, what do I do? Or was it just something that kind of caught you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from the beginning of the year, Rocky has said he's like it's going to be you at some point in the year. So I mean, you can't feel sorry for yourself in a situation like this. I mean, you just gotta take it head on and find ways to improve while you're in quarantine. So that's been my mindset. I mean, I was upset for probably 5 minutes. Then it's how can I get better from this now? Like what can I do to improve?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, to be able to kind of redirect and like you said, not feel sorry for yourself, because what's that gonna do for you at the end of the day? It's just gonna take time away from ultimately moving forward and doing what your team needs you to do, and what is best for you in the long run.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but I would say, so just like, we a small sample so far of your guys' season. So if people don't know, Wyatt wrestles for Northern State University. He's a redshirt freshman. I don't really know what do you even call yourself next year after you don't count this year? Are you a redshirt freshman again, or
I don't know. I'll say redshirt sophomore, but and 5 years from now, I'm still wrestling. I don't know what you can call me then.
just
Super, super.
a super senior?
Yeah, something like that.
Um, but the Wolves, I mean, you guys are off to a heater right away. It's fun to watch, man. Like, there's always going to be, a very, very soft spot in my heart for Northern State wrestling, Northern State athletics, I think in general, but wrestling, obviously, having been there for 3 years and having been there, when we were kind of clinging to just a couple athletes that were really, really putting it together, to seeing the vision of Coach Burkett come to fruition. It's pretty amazing, man. And when I was there with Coach Rocky, and the thing that was always huge in his, and it just, that something that we preached to the kids, and we tried to instill in them, was that culture. And it was a culture of being a champion, not just on the mat but off the mat, and in everything that we do. And to see you guys competing the way you compete and doing the things that you're doing now, up and down the lineup, not just a few wrestlers. And it's exciting, man. And so for me, outside looking in, it's so much fun to watch, and it's exciting. It's cool to see all you guys putting it together.
For sure. Yeah.
what so what's it been like the last couple of weeks, just going in, beating Upper Iowa, who you guys have never, or Northern's never beaten before, since they joined the NSIC, and then taking out a really good Wisconsin Parkside team, and then this last duel beating the scrappy Minot team. What's kind of just been going on with you guys?
Yeah, so I think that I mean it all started when we got on campus, Rocky said, we don't know what's going to happen with the season. We don't know if we're going to have a season, but one thing for sure is we're going to prepare like we're having one until we find out if we do or don't. So, like, obviously, right now, I think that's paying dividends for us. But yeah, like, obviously, we went down to Upper Iowa, took them on. Um, I mean, that was just like everyone, all 10 of us were just grateful to compete, I think. And that's the big thing is I don't know if they were prepared. I don't know if anybody else was prepared as much as us. So I think we take that confidence into each week and try to build off that. I mean, the wins are great, but right after it, we're focused on the next week. And I think that's what's kind of carrying us through these next couple of weeks.
No doubt, no doubt. Like, I mean, and with such a fast season, I would think, I mean, that's how it has to be. There's no really resting on your laurels or, being, too, you can't be too high, you can't be too low. It's really going to be a testament to who can kind of stay level and then really just up the ante, come, regional time, come nationals. That's
Mhm.
it's going to be so fast that it's really just kind of handling these kind of situations where you're missing a duel or missing some athletes, and then being able to recover, and the like you said, the preparation is what's going to shine through.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, we're even like our whole team's prepared for a situation like these. I mean, if somebody gets quarantined, all 27, however many guys there is, every single one of them's ready to step up and do their job. That's big.
That's awesome, man. That's I mean, that's what it's going to take, because it's just crazy times and really really unknown. So kind of looking at being your second year in college, stepping right into the starting lineup when you get a chance. What's that been like? How do you feel your transition has been through being a senior in high school, having a redshirt year, and now being able 3-0 on the season, taking out some good competition, and really being I think you guys look at your lightweights, just you're just another member of that kind of murderers row that you guys have.
Mhm.
Kind of 25 to 57, and I mean I would say even 65, obviously with Burks there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, the stepping in, it's different. It's a new challenge, but I think I've visualized that moment for so long. I mean, it was no surprise. Like stepping in, knowing I'm going to wrestle 6 NSIC opponents that are all going to be tough. Like I was prepared for it. I want to say like it was no shock to me. Like I visualized that this whole season for a long time. So yeah, that's a big thing.
That's something. So is that like when you're visualizing it, are you doing that? Is it a part of a routine, or is it just something like, that's always flashing through your head, or how do you use that?
Yeah, I mean I'd be lying if I said it wasn't on my mind basically 24/7, which probably could get me in some trouble sometimes. Should be paying attention to things, but yeah, I mean, like when I'm training or we're having a tough workout, just think about running through the tunnel and walks or getting a big win, clinching the duel, those types of things. I mean, and like put yourself in that situation so when you get there, you're not surprised, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no doubt, no doubt. Talk about that a little bit. Wrestling in Walks Arena under the lights now, which is super dope, and coming out of the tunnel. I mean, the I would say highly, maybe it's not underrated in Aberdeen, but maybe a little unknown to the rest of the country is the type of fans that are in Aberdeen, South Dakota, that support Northern State athletics. Speak on that a little bit, because I know it's a special place, man.
Yeah. Like, so obviously coming from a small town in South Dakota where like our wrestling team was good, but it wasn't a very popular sport here. Um, it's really not even comparable to what like the support we get in Aberdeen, like running through the tunnel, going out on the big mat, everyone's cheering. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without the support of the Aberdeen community and Northern State fans. So, I mean, it's true. It's a pretty amazing thing to see. And like, you have to be there to really, truly understand what it's like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's like, it is. It's like you talk about like the 11th man or something like that. And it's really something that, you can look to in big matches, because they show up, whether it's -30 outside or what, they're gonna show up on those Thursday night duels and really, get crazy and get loud and get hyped up there. They understand the the importance of those matches, especially in a year like this year where you're only wrestling NSIC opponents, you're only wrestling some of the best kids in the country, day in and day out. So it's a necessity to have them in there, having your guys' back.
Yeah, exactly. Colton Roth always says, he's like, we want to make this place the most hostile environment in the country. Like, and the more I think about it, the more true it is. Like, we got the crowd feeding into our game plan. It's pretty incredible what it can do, really.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is incredible, man. And like I said, I can't speak enough, or say enough good things about Rocky and the vision, man. That man is he's driven, he's focused, and he knows how to build, and he knows how to put the right pieces in place. And just like I said, man, since the day he stepped in, I think, uh, you know it's been his mission to create, what you guys have, and even, I'm sure far beyond. He wants to have 10 national champions. I mean, that's just the kind of guy Rocky is. But it's so much fun to watch your guys' program kind of just blossom and be, right there, and having, multiple kids ranked week in and week out, and having other kids just, chomping at the bit to want to be in there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so talk a little bit about, just the daily kind of the difference, I would guess I would say, just because from last year to this year, with last year full in person, everything like that, and this year kind of having to balance, online classes with, training at a high level and being consistent. What kind of adjustments have you had to make, to make sure that, everything is going, to be where it needs to be when the semester ends, or when the year is over, so you don't have to worry about grades or anything
Mhm.
silly.
Yeah, so luckily for us, I mean, like, it's hard to say it's normal, but things are about as close to normal as they can be for us at Northern. And there's some online classes, but for the most part, a lot of us get to be in person, still can talk to our professors. So, like, staying on top of that is just a big thing for us, so we can, like, have no troubles outside of athletics. If we just get our academics done, do what we're supposed to, we can focus on training at a high level. And as for the training part, it's not too different. I mean, we have to do two different groups, two different practices, which is tough because obviously we're not all in there at once. But I think we all communicate, and if anything, it's really brought us closer just because, certain circumstances we have. But yeah, for the most part, things are about as normal as they can be considering what the cards we were dealt. So
Yeah, for sure. What is your major?
I'm an elementary ed major right now with a minor in coaching.
Okay, so I guess looking big picture, after college is done, what are you looking for?
Um, so right now, like, I'm pretty ahead on credit, so I'm gonna graduate next year and get my master's in sports performance and leadership. And
Okay, that's what my master's is in, from Northern State University.
yes, sir. So I'm looking obviously to, like, be a college coach somewhere. If that doesn't work, open something up myself. Kind of be like Josh Nolan.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. Yeah, you're in a great place to pursue that, and under great leadership, to learn the ropes. I pick Rocky's brain for sure about that. And any of those coaches, I mean, Northern State's very it's a legendary school for coaches that go on to do amazing things, or things like that. So there's plenty of people there to guide that inevitably. Another thing I was thinking about too is just your guys' training situation over the last summer, I know for sure, but over the last couple years, it seemed to me, kind of outside looking in, you guys really took ownership of your training and took it, like, the extra stuff. You're the type of person that's, you're always, I always get motivated looking at whether it's Snapchat or Instagram, and I see, you out there putting in the work and doing those things, and, shooting me little challenges and shooting me things. I'm like, okay, like, I think that's ultimately, like, kind of what drew me to being a fan of yours, and being like a person that, I just want to be behind you, cheering you on, and encouraging you, because you've inspired me to keep pushing and things like that. So just talk about the ownership of your training, whether it's in the summer or at home, or what you're doing in the off hours, quote, off hours, uh, when it's on you to make him happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that, by the way. But so a big thing for me is just like, I just love the process of, training, wrestling, lifting, whatever it is. That's probably the most important thing to me, is just like getting the most out of myself every day. Like, how am I going to do that? And obviously, like, I have like great surroundings. I have other people that want to push me to get better too, and we're always feeding off one another. So like, yeah, the big thing for me is just like loving the process and knowing it's not going to be easy, like doing hard things. I mean, it's just kind of, that's who I've always been. And yeah, just like ever since I was a little kid, like that's just what I wanted to do. Is I want to train hard and compete at a high level, really.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Where does that come from? You think, like, that love of the process? Because I would say, you know, it it's very apparent in the people that believe in that, and then the people that don't, you could hear it in the way that they speak, in their body language, like when times get tough, or whatever. So how did you kind of develop that mindset, or where does that come from?
Um, and I wasn't really probably the most talented kid there was. Like, I got beat a lot as a little kid. I was small in middle school, wrestling varsity, got beat up a lot there. And I mean, eventually I just got tired of it, like, I got to do something about this. I don't think I could do a pull up till I was a freshman in high school. So yeah, it's like, I kind of just made the change within myself. It was like, if you want to get somewhere, you got to change some things. And it's kind of just been like that ever since.
That's pretty crazy. Like, I don't think I was like I just wanted to be good. Like, I just remember when I was young, like, probably, like, eighth, ninth grade, I still thought I was going to be a professional baseball player, but I just I remember I loved competing, whatever it was. I loved competing, and it never dawned on me, and maybe it's cuz, like, back then it wasn't as easy to be around some of these things. I'm from a small town like you,
Mhm.
so the understanding of the process on what that entails, or what that um, even encompasses, to me, it wasn't a thing. But I knew, like you said, like, I knew that it was going to be hard. I knew it should be hard, right? Like, and I was lucky. I had amazing coaches pretty much my entire life. But it's so funny to look back now and be like, wow, like, when you can come from a small town, and then kind of come up through, and just the amazing people that you get to be around, and you kind of, you know you can see it in yourself, and you can see it in the things that you do. And some good, some bad, I would say. But for me, it's just, I love talking to people about that journey, and that, how each kind of interaction, or each person that you've had in your life, um, has left a little impact here, a little impact there. That's something I'm becoming more and more aware of. recently, just kind of seeing all these things come to fruition, and see little traits of all these amazing people come to. So is that something that you can feel, you can see?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's it would be wrong of me to say like I did this all by working by myself. Like, there's been so many people behind the scenes helping me. Like, obviously, first off, I would have to say my mom. Like, if it wasn't for her, like we've had some tough talks. Like last year, I was like, I don't know if college wrestling's for me, really. And she's like, she's like, just think back to all the things you've done to get to this point. And so yeah, just to say I got here by myself is just completely wrong. Like, there's been so many people to help me along the way, and like the older I get, the more I realize it. Like, it's frustrating at the time. Like, those people are just nagging on you, but like looking back, the older you get, you realize how beneficial those people were to you. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, moms are the best. Like
yeah,
that's straight up. I had that exact same conversation when I was it was my sophomore year of college, and I had a pretty good freshman year. Was match away from place at the national tournament, and came back my sophomore year after surgery, and just I was I was not there mentally, like, at all. And I had the same conversation with my mom, like, dude, this sucks. I'm not having fun anymore. Like, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me every single day. Like, what,
yeah,
like, and she had the same, same advice, man. It was just like, it's like, why are you putting so much pressure on this? Basically was her message. And, ultimately she encouraged me to just remember, why I did started wrestling and why I continued wrestling all the years. It wasn't because I was this, I wasn't winning Tulsa, I wasn't winning Reno Worlds, I wasn't, an All-American when I was in high school. I was just, I genuinely loved the work. I loved being around wrestlers and wrestling people. And somewhere along over a course of a year, I just kind of lost that. And then after that, when I was able to think about it, and really, refocus and reflect on that, I started enjoying it again. And ultimately, the rest is history. Uh, but yeah, I think it takes those realization moments where, like, at the end of all this, wrestling is a game. It's a sport, right? Like, there we get so caught up in being, winning, and being the best, and being a national champion, and all this and that and that. And all that's good, and all that's super important, and that it should be a part of any, especially at college wrestlers. It should be a part of your drive, and it should be a part of your goals. But ultimately, I don't think it can't be the only thing, because if you're not taking a minute to appreciate those relationships, appreciate, like you've talked about, the process and the journey with your team, you're going to look back, and there's going to be some emptiness. At least that's the way I see it.
yeah, absolutely. It's easy to get lost in, like tough training, the weight cutting, things aren't going your way. But those are the times you just got to remind yourself why you do it. That's one
Yeah,
thing I've learned over the last couple of years.
that's good, man. I love to hear that, and see it come together for you. um what what's something that, like, talk about your routine kind of on throughout the week. How are you going about your week to prepare for those Thursday night matches, and going, knowing each week is going to be a tough test, and there's 9 other guys, or 27 other guys looking for you to hold up your part. So what's kind of your week like?
Yeah, so I'll just start on Friday because obviously I have duels on Thursdays. Fridays, if it's an away duel, we probably get back pretty late, early morning. Like, I
Yeah,
think
there's
at
no
Upper
short
Iowa,
drives.
yeah, I think the day we got back from Upper Iowa was like 7:30 a.m. But so yeah, we do that. Usually have a practice later in the afternoon, just something light to get our bodies feeling right. work on things we need to from the night before. And then Saturday, we usually practice in the morning because there's no class. And that's probably one of the tougher ones of the week. You just kind of get after it, quite a bit of live. We usually get Sundays off, but I would bet pretty much every single person on our team is doing something just to keep their bodies moving and ready. And then Mondays, we have still another pretty tough practice with a decent amount of live, and we're still lifting 2 days a week. So that's what we do after practice. And then Tuesdays, just, kind of letting up, starting to taper off a little bit, get ready for the duels. That's usually the day, like, I'll watch film with one of the coaches on the Thursday opponent, see what I need to work on, kind of implement that in the next 2 days. And then Wednesday's just a hard drill, get ready, get your weight down, get ready for the upcoming duel. And then we also lift on Wednesdays too. So
I got you. So after your last match against Minot, and I text you way to score points, right? Because just like context behind that for me, it's like yeah, you even when you don't necessarily wrestle your best and wrestle, how you want to obviously, we want to beat everybody 15-0 and get the fall, but it's very easy in a match, especially against a kid that is scrappy and wants to keep coming and going to put you in precarious positions. It's very easy to fall into a trap that you get tired and you give up, points and you fall apart. And especially as a freshman, it's easy to kind of let those things spiral out of control. So my message is, hey, way to score points, because an ugly win is still a win, right?
yeah,
Like, getting your hand raised is important. Yeah. And now when you go back to look at the tape and you want to pick it apart, um, there's places obviously where you can improve and do better. But what's your message back to me was got to be better, which no kidding, like of course, if that's not the goal, if that's not the mindset, then you're probably not doing the right thing anyways. But talk a little bit about what you do moving forward after a match like that, and bouncing back from what you perceive as underperforming.
mhm. Yeah. I mean, a big thing for me, like taking away from that duel was there's two big takeaways. There's one is I just got to keep opening up on my feet. Like, I truly do trust my abilities to take anybody down, but sometimes, I mean, it's easy to lock up in a match in a big, with a big crowd and stuff like that. So yeah, the big thing would just be stay attacking, stay on my offense. And then another thing is just got to keep conditioning, got to keep pushing myself in practice, getting extra in. So I mean, when I go to deep waters, I can be 100% confident that I'm going to come out on top of those situations.
For sure. Yeah. And that's, I mean, the the tough thing about the season being short is, you're kind of wrestling into shape. I
Mm-hmm.
would say each week is going to be probably a little bit better and better. But the nice thing is it's a limited amount of weigh-ins. Your body, as long as you take care of it throughout the course of the season, I think you're going to be able to feel like you should be able to feel very, very good going into postseason and kind of these, bigger matches as you go, into the St. Clouds and the Augustanas and the Mankato's. It's something that, just keep wrestling into shape and keep wrestling better and better on a weekly basis. So
Yeah.
it's kind of an interesting thing. So another thing I was thinking about is, okay, so earlier, I don't even remember when this was. I would say it was probably like early first semester. You and some other cats on your team were doing these crazy runs. Talk about these runs.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of background behind it. Like, one night we are sitting in our dorm room playing UFC 3, and I don't know where it came about, but I told Landon Fisher, I was like, let's run 10 miles this weekend. He's like, okay, I'm in. It was like a Thursday night. I was like, all right, we'll do it Sunday morning. And so we just plan on it, whatever. Friday night rolls around. It's like 11 o'clock. We're still playing UFC 3 because that's like all we did at the beginning of the year. And I was like, let's go do it right now. And as he's eating Domino's pizza, he's like, you got to give me at least an hour. So we gathered up 4 guys at, I think we started at 12:53, and we, ran 10 miles in the middle of the night. And then I think 2 weeks later, that wasn't that bad. Why don't we ramp it up to 15? And we're going to keep it in the middle of the night because nobody else is doing it then. So that was a little bit tougher. That was a bit of a challenge, but yeah, we knocked it out. I mean, we're planning on a marathon after the season. So
Are you?
yeah,
See,
no running training, just going to send it.
I once, I forget what year it was. I ran a half a marathon one time. It was when it might have been between my junior and senior year, or yeah, I think it was between my junior and senior year of college. And I was scheduled to run it in May. And all I did was I just did wrestling training. And then the furthest run I did it on a treadmill at 24-hour fitness. I did like a 4 or 5 mile run. Got super bored on the treadmill, and I was like, dude, I can do this. And then I just I just did it. Yeah, running is, as long as you're training wrestling, your running is pretty simple, and not like I was gonna go set a record or anything like that. But what do you think or was the mindset just like, let's do something hard, and then let's do something that nobody else is doing?
Yeah, that was exactly it. It's just, let's challenge ourselves and let's do something literally nobody else is doing right now. And that's really all it was. It's just a mental battle, really.
Yeah. So is that something, that, you guys can kind of go back to, I think, when things get a little bit, touch and go, or maybe you're having a little down or something like that. I think that would be, for me, it would be something that, like, yo, like, we're in a rut, like, let's get out of our head, like, let's go do something hard. And to be able to, I think that's such a valuable thing to have people in your life that it's like, let's go do something hard. Like,
Mm.
let's go suffer a little bit together. Because at the end of the day, that shared suffering is gonna, I mean, that brings people together like nothing else.
Yeah, all 5 of us just take ourselves back to that all the time. Like, I remember walking up the stairs at upper Iowa, and I was with my roommate Cole Huss, and he just like, the one thing he said to me was, I guarantee you this kid didn't run 15 miles at 3 a.m. So I guarantee he didn't either. So it's just, yeah, it's kind of something we keep going back to, but it's also something we build off of too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's the kind of people you need in your life, whether it's, wrestling related or just, in general, is people that, when you look at them and you tell them some crazy idea, and they look at you like you're crazy, and then they say, all right, let's do it. Not no, not, oh, you're dumb or whatever. It's like, all right, let's freaking do it. Cause ultimately that's how we grow. That's how we get better and get out of our comfort zone. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So moving forward, what what's what are the goals? What are you looking forward to as this season kind of cruises? We're almost to February already, man. Like, it's getting down to the crunch time of the season, and getting to where it's peak season. What are your goals? What are you looking forward to? What are you guys ready preparing for?
Yeah. So right now, um, obviously me and everybody else on the team wants to finish the dual season undefeated and be conference champs, which I think is very realistic for us. And so that's the thing that's on my mind right now. With obviously in the back of my mind, I want to be top 3 in regionals and make the trip to nationals and get on the podium there. But right now, I'm just taking it 1 week at a time. like I have my long-term goals in the back of my mind, but yeah, I'm just taking it 1 week at a time, one match at a time, and putting the work in every week so I can ultimately get to where I want to be at the end of March.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, that's what it takes is obviously going week by week, but knowing, there's there's a real chance, that great things can happen like this year. And one of the biggest things I think for young college wrestlers is like just getting out of your own way, all right, and understanding like the moment isn't too big. The moment isn't something that's gonna swallow you up. It's something that you as an athlete, as a Northern State Wolf, you can rise to the occasion. And I like to just put things as if they already are. Like I am the NSIC champ. I am the regional champ. I am a 2021 All American, and understanding that like this is within your reach. And I don't say that lightly either. I truly think that the things that you guys are doing are special. I see the way that you compete, and the way that you kind of let it fly. That pays off. Like the ability to wrestle like that will pay off. And with the guidance that you have at Northern, I think you guys are gonna be able to put it all together, man. So I'm excited to watch you guys finish the season strong, and um, just kind of keep doing what you guys are doing. Of
Appreciate that. Thank you.
course. Well, anything else you got for us, Wyatt?
No, just keep watching for the Wolves 2021.
Yes, sir. So unfortunately mine or Moorhead duel tomorrow is canceled. What's next for you guys?
SMSU next Thursday away. And then we'll
Heading
finish up with Mary at home the following Thursday. So
and then so you have Marshall, then Mary, and then into regionals.
yeah, 2 week layoff, and then super regionals in Aberdeen. So gonna be busy.
That's gonna be sick. It's gonna be at home. I mean, that's something that when going after a regional title at home, in arguably the best region in the country is something that's special, man. Especially in front of your guys' home crowd. So enjoy every moment of that. Make sure you take it all in, and rise to the occasion, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. I appreciate you jumping on here and talking, and we'll be watching.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. We will talk soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Later, Wyatt.
See you later.